like somebody that believe they're going to be a millionaire. You can't be hemming and hawing and sitting around here and somebody tell you come to a meeting or come to a training or come up with $100. You want to be a millionaire. One of the things millionaires do, millionaires give. Let me say it on this side. Millionaires give. Millionaires give. Excuse me. Millionaires give. You think you're going to be a millionaire and won't give nobody nothing? You are not. Sow a seed. You like the one with the one talent. Bury the talent so won't nobody get it. You're crazy. Millionaires give. All right. Now, they heard that. I'm going to come after y'all to give something. Every millionaire. You just said you give. You know the way we have is we give. Is we give. Not long ago, and I'm going to end right here. Not long ago, I was watching TBN, and I don't watch it often, but I was watching TBN, and they were in their pledge season. And they're always asking for money, so I don't get really. They're always asking for money, but for some reason I was watching, and the Lord started dealing with me about giving. Not that I had much. I didn't have much at the time. But the Spirit of the Lord says, sow $100. This was about 3.5 months. Now, the Lord said to ask for 1,000. I didn't have a clue. I just sold the $100. One time before he told me to sow 500, I did. And the Lord blessed me almost within about 5 days to get it back. So I sold the 100. I didn't realize God was going to give me this 50-50, which was $1,000 for 100 people, which is 50,000 for 50, $100,000 for 100 people. I didn't realize. But now that I look at it, it was $100, $1,000, and 100,000. Is he bad? Is he bad? 100, 1,000, 100,000. He's a multiplier. If I didn't obey, I don't believe I would have got the plan for 50-50. I would not have got it. But because I obeyed, God said, do it. And I even asked him, I said, should I do it in write a check for me or write a check for the church? He said, write a church check. Now I know why it was a church check. I wouldn't have hesitated if it was my check. But I knew the church, he said, write a church check. So that's the vision that he gave, not to me, he gave to the church. Spiritual jurisdiction. Spiritual jurisdiction. And let me say in closing, spiritual jurisdiction works the same when the Lord asks you to bless a child of God. So I want to tell those who may not have money, but when the Lord lay on your heart to bless a child of God, bless them. Because you are walking in the spiritual jurisdiction that they walk in. And the word says, if you give to a prophet, you will get prophet's reward in the spiritual jurisdiction. Okay, so you may not have the finance, but if he lays something on your heart, do it. And sometimes we say, well, I don't know what to get them, but they have everything. Well, that's okay. Give them some more of everything. Give them some more of everything. Simply because God said it. They may not need what you're saying, give them. But if you give them more than what they need, they will take some of what they have and bless somebody else. That's why you give to people who have more than enough. Because they're able to bless more people when they have more than enough. If you have just enough, you can't bless nobody else. It's the law of principle. It's the law of principle. It works. And don't be afraid to give your last. Don't be afraid to give your last. If he's asking for your last, give it. Remember the widow's mite. Don't it's give. If he's saying give your last, I can't begin to tell you the times I was in service and they called the line and said, empty your entire pocketbook out. Some of you would have. Out of here. I am out of here. Would you be willing to empty your wallet, your pocketbook out? Some people are willing because they've learned that lesson and they leave everything at home, except for what they're going to give. I'm going to put $20 in here and they can beg to no end. That's all they're going to get today, $20. Would you be able to walk in a spiritual jurisdiction? I'm going to just throw something at you, and I'm going to stop because I know y'all going to really make me sit down after this. If you felt we were mandated in here today to raise $25,000 today, would you be willing to do that, to help? Do you think we could raise $25,000 today? Absolutely. Absolutely. This is how we have to start thinking. Stop putting in $1. What was it? They were telling a joke the other week about George Washington. He's on the dollar. And who's the other on the 20? Andrew Jackson. They were talking about Andrew Jackson. They said, yeah, I know George Washington, but I ain't seen Andrew Jackson. I'd like to meet him. And I ain't never. Oh, no. They were in a place where they were giving $20. Andrew Jackson. The person was saying, do you know George Washington? No, I don't know George Washington. I said, but he's a nice person. Wouldn't you like to meet him? He said, well, I guess so. I said, well, okay, then you can follow me to church and I'll let you meet him. Give $1. Say, he can be found in church. Oh yeah, he's at church. There's a whole lot of him at church. The dollar bills. Yes. Only way I goes to church. Been in Atlantic City, Virginia Beach, Washington, D.C. He said, the only place I hang out is in the church. Dollar bills. It is. We joke. But we're in this spiritual jurisdiction, so we want to begin putting our thoughts in higher places. How come we can't raise that kind of money? How come we can't raise that kind of money? If the Lord would lay on your heart and ask you to go and get a $50,000 loan for the church, would you be able to do that? I ain't got no 50. He mess around and calls me to lose my house. Hey, I ain't going to get that kind of money. I love him, but I don't love him like that. Well, I trust God, but I ain't going that far. You take a bunch of Catholics and